I'm speechless. I I got nothing to say. Hey everybody, I'm Xavier Ortega, and wow, what the heck just happened? So I just got done watching the NXT Takeover Chicago, and man, what a show! I mean, it is NXT, so they always do it right. 4 out of the 5 matches were really best of the night, except for the women's match. Look, I'm not hating on the women of NXT. I'm not hating on Nikki Cross and Shayna Baszler, but it was just another Shayna Baszler squash match. So we start things off with the NXT Tag Team Championship match, pinning Oney Larkin and Danny Burch versus the Undisputed Era. This match was really best of the night. There was a lot of high offense octane, a lot of back and forth action, hard hitting, and it told a great story with Danny Burch and Oney Larkin. But in the end, even though they lost their match, Oney Larkin and Danny Burch looked amazing. I wasn't rooting for. I wanted Undisputed Era to win, but I do respect Danny and Oney, and they just weren't ready to become champions yet. So then we move on to Ricochet versus Velveteen Dream. Again, another big match, another best match of the night. If anybody noticed, Velveteen Dream had on Prince Puma's pants on back when Ricochet was Prince Puma back in Lucha Underground. And he was embracing the spirit of Hulk Hogan. I think that's a sign from WWE that they want Hulk Hogan back. And then what I noticed is that Ricochet was when he was standing in front of Velveteen Dream and they did the whole look at the crowd thing. I immediately noticed that Ricochet almost looks like The Rock. And I think we're just trying to relive the moment when Rock and Hogan were looking at the crowd from WrestleMania 18. I think that's what they were doing right here. A lot of great. It was an outstanding match. It was a great match. This match goes up in Velveteen Dream's career right next to the match he had against Aleister Black at War Games. And both men looked amazing at the end. Velveteen Dream people are still in love with Velveteen Dream, and Ricochet is still being considered one of the great up-and-comers in NXT. You just heard my opinions on the women's match. And then we move on to the NXT Championship match. Aleister Black and Lars Sullivan. This match told a great story. Is that like if can Aleister topple Lars Sullivan? Is this going to be Lars' crowning moment? Aleister did everything he can to bring down at Lars. When Lars was going for a diving headbutt, he blocked it with his one knee, which I thought was pretty hardcore. And in the end, Lars was bleeding from the mouth. So, Aleister Black is still NXT champion. And Lars lives to fight another day. And then, the main event, street fight. Gargano and Ciampa, 1 year in the making. Chicago, where this all started. Okay, so this match was really hardcore. This was really brutal. It was so brutal at the point these two were trying to kill each other. I was going for Johnny, but in the end, Tommaso toppled Johnny. They even relived to what happened last year when Johnny Gargano got put to those two tables between Tommaso Ciampa. This time it was vice versa, with Johnny Gargano doing the same thing to Tommaso Ciampa. And in one of the great moments of the match, Tommaso Ciampa is getting carried away, and Johnny Gargano, like, he looks like he really wanted to end Tommaso. But in the end, Tommaso Ciampa wins. I was not happy with the finish, but I really enjoyed the story between Gargano and Ciampa. We haven't seen a rivalry like this since forever, since Zayn and Owens. This is the modern day Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, if you separate one from the other, it's just not the same. That's why when either one gets called up to the main roster, they need to go with them. Because this feud, it just can't be stayed in NXT. It has to go to Raw or SmackDown. Even though I didn't want Ciampa winning this, I feel like it adds to the story between him and Johnny. Like, this feud will go down in one of the greatest in WWE history. Hopefully, this is the rubber match. Because Johnny won at New Orleans and Tommaso wins at Chicago. Hopefully, the rubber match will be the concluding story to all this. Well, that was my NXT Takeover Chicago recap. I might get to watching Money in the Bank tomorrow, but if I don't, no spoilers. Okay. Well, that's gonna do it for this video. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.